Hello YouTube, Rick Wilson here. We'll go through the next volcano in the series of supervolcanoes. This one's going to be the Long Valley Caldera. Here's a picture of it. You can kind of see the edge of the caldera coming around this way. Resurgent dome in the middle. And let me put another picture here. This one's kind of looking straight down. The red line is the caldera. Now this thing is a big depression next to the Mammoth Mountain. It's 20 miles long, 11 miles wide, 3,000 feet deep. It's originally it was a volcano, like a typical volcano. It formed 760,000 years ago, and it blew up, released hot ash, which formed the Bishop Tuft in the area, and the eruption was so large that the magma chamber nearly completely emptied and then collapsed in on itself, causing a second eruption. Since there was nothing, everything fell into the magma chamber, and it caused a second eruption, which caused a huge pyroclastic ash that buried thousands of square miles of the United States. It was 500 times the size of Mount Helens, and it reached all the way to Kansas. And since that eruption, it has now formed a resurgent dome in the middle, which is over in here, and that's from new magma in the magma chamber. And you got Mammoth Mountain over here to the left. Move the camera over a little bit. Right over in here is Mammoth Mountain, and that is a lava dome complex made of 12 lava domes that string together to form Mammoth Mountain. And that formed 110,000 to 57,000 years ago, building a volcano that now reaches 11,000 feet. And then above that, up in this area up in here, is something called the Mono Inyo craters that are 25-mile long volcanic chain, and they follow a north-south fissure. They last erupted only 600 years ago, but they're not part of this volcano. The Inyo craters, even though they're so close to this thing, they have a separate magma source than the one that's in the caldera. Now let's move to another picture here. There we go. There's a nice picture. This is the one I should have been on. You see the caldera, resurgent dome, the Inyo craters in this area, Mammoth Mountain down here, and up here's Glass Mountain, because we're going to talk about Glass Mountain in a minute. It's up here in the northeastern corner, and Mammoth Mountain's down here in the southwestern corner. And now this thing, after it erupted last time and made this big caldera, it filled up with water at one point. It was a huge lake, and then the water overflowed the rim and tore all this out down this way, and that's why there's not a rim there. The huge lake drained down in this direction. And let's see, let's go to the next one here. This is going to show you the inside of the thing. This is what it looks like now. You've got the magma chamber here, and it can't super erupt anymore, because you can see the congealed magma, crystallized magma. It's cooled too much, and there is some molten magma down here, the red, and some basalt injections riding underneath that. Now the basalt don't normally rise by itself. The basalt has hitched a ride with the molten magma and separated in this chamber with the molten magma on top and the basalt in the bottom, and that's how they know that it can't super erupt, mainly because of this the basalt eruptions that come out of Mammoth Mountain. The fact that the basalt is even there means that the magma chamber is not large enough to super erupt. If the magma chamber was really large, like it was in the beginning, it would absorb and dissolve the basalt, and it would just melt right into the other magma. So because the basalt is separate from the magma, they know there can't be that much magma there to begin with, at least liquid magma. And the next eruption can happen anytime, but it can happen one of two ways. You got the Mammoth Mountain side, which is all basalt. Now, if that thing, if Mammoth Mountain blows, that's going to be, basalt is extremely explosive. That'll be a Mount St. Helens type eruption if it erupts from this side. Now, your molten magma is leading over to Glass Mountain. So if Glass Mountain erupts, that'll be more like a typical volcano with lava flows and things of that nature. Now let's go back. Now in 1980 they had 4 earthquakes of magnitude 6 and larger, and the magma dome raised, and it caused them to build a new road for an escape route, and they originally named it the Mammoth Escape Route, but businesses in the vicinity complained. They didn't like Mammoth Escape Route. They thought it sounded like it was dangerous, so they made them change the name. It's now called the Mammoth Scenic Loop. And there is hot springs, mainly in the eastern half of the Caldera, and there are Puma holes in the western half. And the reason for that is the western half is higher in altitude than the eastern half. So the water table allows hot springs in this half, but over here the water table is too far below the ground, so you get a lot of Puma holes. And really that's about it. You know, like I said, this thing cannot super erupt. It could erupt, but it's not going to be a super eruption. And well, I guess we should hope that Glass Mountain, if it's going to erupt, should hope that Glass Mountain's what erupts and not Mammoth Mountain. Mammoth Mountain would be way worse, because it'll be basalt, whereas this Glass Mountain would be magma. And that's about it. Because this thing could go off, but it's not going to be a end of the world type thing. So see y'all later. I'll do I think Lake Toba is what I'm going to do next. So but I might not do it for another week. So see y'all later.